Hi friends, I am Swapnil and welcome back to my channel Swapnil's Analysis. Today we are going to discuss a very iconic and celebrated poem of Robert Burns, that is My Love is Like a Red Red Rose. There are some poems, some books, some quotes, some plays which are so popular and which have become so immortal that people of every generation they fall in love with that poem or that piece of art or that piece of literature. And Robert Burns' poem My Love is Like a Red Red Rose is one of them. The poem is written in a Scottish dialect, therefore there the some spellings of the words are different than the today's spellings. For instance, the spelling of love is like LUVE, and therefore here again some of the similes of this poem, they are very popular. And the most important thing is that this poem has studied by everyone, or we all have studied this poem while completing our degree or while we were in the college. So therefore this is a very popular and famous poem of Robert Burns, and also loved one by all the people. Therefore Robert Burns, he was a very famous Scottish poem, and he wrote in a Scottish dialect, and he wrote about the Scottish countryside. Therefore he is very popular and also a very famous poem, and he is also considered as the poet who in a way thought about the countryside and have written about the countryside and specifically about the love, or we can also call him as a pre-romantic poet or precursor of a romanticism. Therefore while studying this poem there are two aspects. First is that here the speaker doesn't wish to reveal the identity of his beloved. Therefore he is not addressing his beloved by her name. He is calling her as a love to show his deeper affection for her. And second one is that poem is in the form of dramatic monologue. He is addressing his beloved. Why he is addressing his beloved, which is revealed, or we come to know by when we read the fourth stanza, that he is going away from her. For instance, what has happened that in the 16th or 17th or 18th century, that in the villages there were means women were dependable. Women still are, but in those area, in that time women were dependable on men. So if a man, if he goes away from the village and if he doesn't return back, then what should that woman do who loves that man so deeply? So therefore in all the metaphysical poems which I consider as a love poem of John Donne, that he also in Valediction Forbidden Morning, what he does, that he is convincing his beloved that whatever may happen I would return. Why that was necessary? Because he should do, because she must not think that now I won't come back, and she must not marry to any other man or any other person. So therefore here he is also going away, because in those times their love affair was a very secret affair, a very clandestine affair, hidden from the eyes of the other people. Therefore, only the two people knew about their love. And thus, the speaker of the poem, he very desperately tries to convince his beloved that nothing of that sort is going to happen, as she is thinking, because she probably might be thinking, okay, now he is going away, he might forget me, he may not return back, so what should I do? Should I marry to another person? Because in those days women, they had only two options, that either to born in a rich family or to born a very rich person or a very settled person, economically sound or settled person. So therefore here he's saying what here first in the first stanza of Burns, a Red Red Rose, he is here trying to introduce us about his beloved. Thus he says that, oh, my love is like a red, red rose that newly sprung in June. Oh, my love is like the melody that sweetly played in tune. Here he has, means the poem is about full of literary devices like alliteration, repetition, again simile. Here he has emphasized a red, red rose. Here he has compared his beloved, who he does not wish to be named. Therefore, he uses the word love, that too in a capital. The L in the stanza is in a capital form. So, LUVE, my love. She is like a red, red rose, means she is very delicate. And red rose has always been a symbol of romance and a symbol of love. And therefore, and also red rose is considered as the most beautiful flower. Here, as Wordsworth has compared in one of his poems, that he has compared Lucy to a violet flower which is considered as a wild yellow flower. So wild yellow flower means any flower is beautiful, there is no doubt that any flower is beautiful, but red rose is considered as a high class. If we go to the social indication, that red rose is always considered, because red roses are the costly flowers and they are a what indication or the example of showing that okay, this is the high class flower, and they are used popularly by the aristocratic society to express their love. Now this concept has changed in the modern times, but during the times of Robert Burns, this concept or tradition was there. Therefore, there are thousands of flowers in the countryside or in the world, yet he chooses to compare his beloved with a red rose. That also we must keep in mind. Okay, so his beloved is as beautiful as rose, and again her body part, her delicacy is described in the last two lines of the first stanza, that is, oh, my love is like the melody, means very delicate, that sweetly played in tune. As we play a beautiful song on any musical instrument, that requires, because to create a music you require some delicacy, some softness. So my beloved, she is not only beautiful, but she is also very delicate, she is also very soft, probably by nature, and also very domesticated, she is not aggressive. Here he is introducing his beloved. Now he is directly addressing to his beloved. How so fair art thou, my bonny lass, Miss beautiful girl. So deep in love am I, and I will love thee still, my dear, till the seas can dry. So here he is saying that you are so beautiful, my bonny lass means my girl, you are so beautiful, and so deeply I am in love with you. You should not worry that you are beautiful and I am so deeply in love with you. What here he is saying, and why he is saying that so fair art thou? Because he is saying that you are beautiful, because he is going away. You are beautiful, and therefore, and I am very deeply in love with you. So you please need not worry that I would not fall in love with any other person, or sorry, any other woman, because you are beautiful and I am deeply in love with you. And to give the evidence of his love, what does he say? Say next is that I love thee still, my dear. Now he is using my dear, very affectionate word. That till the seas can dry, that still all the seas dries up from this planet, from this earth, I am going to love you till that last moment, till the doomsday kind of a situation. So what here he is trying to convince his beloved that you are beautiful, so you should not worry, you must not worry, and I am deeply in love with you. And therefore he is saying that I am not going to fall in love with any other person on my travel. Though I am going away, you should not worry. That is he is trying to say her. Till the seas gang dry, my dear, and the rocks melt with the sun, I will love thee still, my dear, while the sands of life shall run. Again here hyperbole, his to prove, to give her proof of his deepest love for her. What here is saying that still the sun melts away the rock mountains of this earth, and still there is a life on this planet. I am going to love you till the last moment of this earth, or till the last moment of my life. So you must not worry, nothing is going to happen. I am not going to fall in love with any another person or any another woman or beautiful woman. Why? Because first, you are beautiful, second, I am very deeply in love with you, so you must not worry about this thing. And now he is in the last stanza saying to his beloved that, and fare thee well, my only love. See, you are the my only love, there is no other woman in my life. And fare thee well a while means, fare means I am just going away from you just for a short period of life, and I will come back again, my love, though it weren't 10,000 smile. So what he is saying that you should not worry, you must not worry, I am definitely going to come back for you, even though I will have to cross 10,000 miles. So remember, this 10,000 mile is the more favorite measurement of the English writers. See, again in the Daffodils, Wordsworth says 10,000 saw I at a glance. Why 10,000? Why not 10 lakh? Why not 1 million? Why not 1 billion? So 10,000 is a very favorite word used by all the English poets to measure the distance. So here a lover, he is trying to convince his beloved that okay, you are beautiful, you are. In the first stanza he introduces us about his beloved, her beauty, her delicacy, her domestic nature, her softness, and then from the second stanza he says that okay, I am very deeply in love with you, you are so fair and beautiful, therefore I am not going to fall in love with you. Okay, and in the fourth stanza what he says that, and fare thee well, my only love. Again and again here in this poem the speaker is trying to convince and likewise persuade his beloved that she must trust him, she must believe him, that he loves her deeply and she is the only love. And if she had some doubt about her beauty, that what if he meet with another beautiful woman, then what would happen? Therefore he says that so fair art thou, you are so beautiful, and so deeply I am in love with you, so nothing of that sort is going to happen, because you are my lady and you are beautiful. So means you are so beautiful, means you are the kind of an angel for me. And in the fourth stanza, my only love. This poem is a dramatic monologue, as I have said earlier, and he is here trying to convince his beloved that okay, I'm going away from you, but I am going to love you. And therefore, he gives various examples. Therefore, he uses exaggeration, hyperbole, similes to convince her that okay, nothing as you are thinking is going to happen. I'm going, I love you today, I will love you while I am away, and I will return back for you. Why? Because I love you from the bottom of my heart. You are the only love in my life, and therefore you must not worry. So, what do you think about this beautiful and iconic poem of Robert Burns? Please let me know in the comment section. And thanks for watching, of course. And if you have liked my presentation, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks.